I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
Blitz. Rogers gets out. Floats it. Cobb. Touchdown, Randall Cobb. His second of the game. Joe, the defensive backs sit at the markers for the first down. They're not anticipating that the Packers are going to try to go down the field. Chris Conti, you see it, he's jumping. He settles right at the first down marker, and Randall Cobb goes right by him. Give Aaron Rodgers some credit. He has Julius Peppers right in his lap. He's able to make him miss, and then finds Randall Cobb down the field. Big play for the Packers. Huge on fourth down.
I didn't realize how little credit John Kuhn got for that.
You know, if you keep, it's like they spent like 3 minutes on that play. Eventually, Aikman comes back and he goes, and give credit to John Kuhn with the nice block to give him time.
Nice of him to circle back around.
Yeah, that's right. It was definitely the second time around.
Joe Buck, Troy Aikman on the call. That was on Fox back then, the 2013 matchup that the Bears and Packers had at the end of December, week 17. The game-winning 4th and 8, Rodgers to Cobb at Soldier Field to win the NFC North. And, of course, the ever-famous John Kuhn cut block on Julius Peppers to make it happen.
That's right.
There's going to be a lot of those highlights that I feel like we should review the rest of the week because there's a lot of people nervous about the Bears. I'm not one of them. I feel like you're one of them.
I am one of them.
I know.
I am one of them. And there's audio. We got a lot of audio today.
I love it.
A lot of people feel in a lot of ways, and I think they're all right. I think everyone's right.
What's up, Wisconsin? Good morning. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on your radio and live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm Trevor Thomas. He's Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter, where you can watch us live, both there and YouTube as well, at On Air Josh, at Trevor Thomas IW. And in we go. Oh, you said it, man. Audio galore today in regards to Packers Bears. There's so much to dig into from one of the oldest rivalries in the history of the NFL. And since Matt LaFleur, Josh, we own them. And I know that that's a Rodgers thing, like I own you and this and that. And he did that when he went.
He is. I mean,
he went
did.
back there with the Steelers, and that didn't work out too well.
Well, he didn't play.
That doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. You're still so salty.
Oh, God. Never going to get over it, frankly. That's fine. I've come to grips with that.
Oh, I love it.
What do you think the Packers-Bears rivalry record is under Matt LaFleur? Any idea?
I mean, 94% win. I don't know how many times they've played.
The literal record.
I don't.
11-1. You're
okay.
The only time we lost was the last time we played them.
Correct.
In the Matt LaFleur era.
Correct.
And that hurt. Their kicker was running around Lambeau Field like he had just won the NFC Championship game, like the kicker from the Giants did back in 2009. 2008. That's the last time the Packers and Bears played. Before that, 11 straight wins for the Packers, and a lot of those games weren't even close. I mean, that's been the way this rivalry has gone since 2019. Stompage.
And if you talk to your local Bears fan, they are super cautiously optimistic. They're like, yeah, our team's playing really well, but I don't know. Something's going to happen. Yeah, the Packers, I don't know. Something will like they are emotionally damaged.
We don't have people admit that up here in Green Bay, that they're Bears fans. That doesn't happen. Within a radius of Lambeau Field, you're not allowed to say that
Got
you're
it.
a Bears fan.
Yeah. Well, we have one that I work with that I say hi to every day.
I'm so glad you have to say hi to him and I don't. I'm out of the studio here in Green Bay. You cross paths with him, don't you?
Yeah,
Rami?
with our friend Rami from 9 to noon, which is crazy that he's doing the show with Kuhn. You know,
totally.
that back and forth.
I wonder how many times, if I was John Kuhn, I'd start every segment that way with Rami. Hey, by the way, Julius Pepper says hi. Saw him last, pretty close.
Right. I don't like that though. Don't get karma involved.
There's a lot of that. The whole Ben Johnson, Matt LaFleur thing is starting to rear its head. Ben Johnson talked about that yesterday. We'll play you that audio. Plus, Matt Schneidman joins us at 8:00 to talk all things Packers Bears. And you might remember that Schneid actually asked Matt LaFleur if he and Ben Johnson go way back and where those comments come from. And it was in the offseason. So we'll remind Schneid that he had that conversation. And I think he asked him again yesterday in the press conference about that very thing. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. A lot of Packers-Bears conversation today.
Yes.
Josh thinks that the Bears are legit.
I do.
I do not. I'll explain to you why I don't, just like you're going to explain to us why you do.
Yep.
Take Back Tuesday, 7:25. I have a take back about something I said about Ben Johnson.
Ooh.
Little teaser.
Yeah.
I take it back.
Okay.
I also have a question.
I like that.
You have a question at 6:25, and it reads as this. Are we going to lose Giannis?
Yeah, and the question is really not, if, in my mind, but when. I've been mentally preparing myself for the day when Giannis is no longer a Buck for a long time. But watching that Bucks game
horrendous
last night was awful. And it was not a situation necessarily where it was Giannis and the rest of the team let him down. That was just an embarrassment in a game that the Bucks desperately needed to win to kind of right the ship.
It should have never been a question. The Wizards were 2-16 going into that game last night. The Bucks 8-13. Not exactly a winning record, but they've been without Giannis, had 7 losses in a row. Like, we can chalk all of that up. We're out of the cup, moving on, right? No. 16-point lead, blown. Just completely blew it. The good news, Josh, is that head coach of the Bucks, Doc Rivers, analyzed that and had a very good way of explaining exactly what happened, why the Bucks lost that lead.
We got the lead by playing the right way. The ball was moving. Everyone was touching it. And then it just went away.
I mean, that's what is analyzing.
Oh, thank you for that. That is a John Madden answer if I've ever heard one. Oh my gosh. There's a Twitter account called NBA Central, which is it's like a parody account to NBA Central. That's like a legitimate account that had a tweet that went out last night that said, breaking news, the Milwaukee Bucks have fired Doc Rivers. And everyone was commenting on it and saying, just early, not wrong. Just early, not wrong. And it had me thinking, and that's another question about just what is going to happen the rest of this Bucs season, because something is happening.
It's going to get ugly, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a chance? Do you think there's a chance that they deal Giannis before the end of the year?
I hate you right now.
That wasn't an answer.
No.
No?
No.
Why not?
Because the Bucks will do everything else first.
Meaning at all costs.
Correct.
To make sure that this is all going to be okay.
Correct. It is not going to be first move, boom, Giannis out. No.
So you think it's going to be in the offseason?
I'm not thinking that way. I will not allow myself to think that way.
You're the one that brought it up. You're like, oh, it's going to be real interesting to see how this Bucs season goes.
Because I'm nervous about it. I'm scared.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to help you process your feelings, Josh.
All
what
right.
are you afraid of?
A lot of things. We'll talk about it next segment.
I don't think
and
we
I have
enough
questions.
time. I don't think we have enough time.
That's true. We definitely don't. What else is happening in the show?
Did you see Devin Williams, where he landed yesterday?
No.
So free agent Devin Williams, a piece came out via MLB.com, and they ranked all of the free agent players and where they thought they were going to land. Like, wouldn't it be cool if this person landed on that team or this person went here or there? And they said, how cool would it be coming off of a horrid season in New York with the Yankees? How cool would it be to just have Devin Williams come back to the Brewers this year and just reset? Hey, man, welcome back. Good to see you. Don't punch a wall. We love to have you. Nope.
No.
Mets. 3-year deal with the Mets. If you're Devin Williams, do you not run out of New York City as fast as you can?
How much you get paid?
Just go across the bridge. What was I don't know.
Oh, it didn't say. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Devin Williams didn't work after he left Milwaukee. Did
it work in Milwaukee at the end, though?
Well, no, that's why they ended up getting rid of him. You know, we were all cautious, though. And then he went to New York. It didn't work there, obviously, and someone else is giving it a chance. Also, it's the Mets, which are becoming where Brewers go. You know, how many former Brewers have ended up as Mets?
Including the GM.
Right.
Which is exactly why that makes sense. But the more important story, Brewers we'll worry about later. Bucks, I don't want to worry about now either. We'll talk about that and I have questions. But it's really about Packers Bears and the week that is. So, Josh, you wanted to make sure that we jumped into this right away this morning. What is topic number one that's top of mind for you about Packers Bears?
I mean, the biggest is just how fans are feeling about this team. And I know you and I are going to get into it. We spent a lot of time this season as we've been trying to figure out the identity of this Packers team. I feel like confidently just saying, well, the Bears are paper tigers. They're, they won another BS game. They shouldn't have won that game, and we move on. And we did that a lot. And I think that for me, it all really came down to that game against the Eagles. And I know the Eagles they're trying to figure things out too. But there's got to be something said for a team that is just still finding ways to win games. These are all NFL games. The Rams lost to the Panthers. And they were the only team that a lot of people were saying were the favorites in the entire NFL. It's the Rams and everyone else. And then the Rams went and lost to the Panthers. Every week a team can win, but the Bears keep finding ways to win against a team regardless of who it is. This is not the same Bears team that Packers fans, especially if you're my age, that you've been enjoying watching, celebrating for a decade plus. That's not what's going to happen on Sunday.
I think their record is lying, and we will break this all down in the morning mind dump coming up at 7:00. And so if you have thoughts on this and you're listening now and you're not going to be with us at 7, throw them our way on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. Are the Bears legitimate? Josh says yes. I say no. How about no? Yeah, no is what I say. The fans down in Chicago believe that the Bears are legitimate. This is from 670 The Score in Chicago yesterday. It's a little long, but this is just how confident Bears fans are right now.
Hey, Lawrence, A. Speaks. I think for the first time in my life since 2018 at least, so not that many years ago, it feels like things are like the Bears are good and could actually be good, and you have the optimism after the expectations of wanting them to be good. And what I've learned, at least this past weekend with the defense, was they were kind of like the Black Knight and Monty Python in terms of how dead and injured they were. But when he said, I'm going to bite your legs off, the Bears have actually been doing that with all of their takeaways. And that's them without Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon now just finally getting back. Like, I'm not afraid of Green Bay for the first time in my life. I feel like we might be the movie monster chasing them.
Oh, boy.
I like that.
I like it, too. I want to agree. I want to feel it.
I'm afraid of Micah Parsons. I don't know if I'm afraid of Green Bay per se, but I am afraid of Micah Parsons.
I feel like a lot of Bears fans feel the same way that Bears fan, that caller into 670 The Score in Chicago feels.
Of course they do. What have they had to hang their hat on in this rivalry for the last, 7 years? Nothing. Oh, congrats. You made a field goal to beat us at time expiring last year.
Well, they also
Go
say, and correctly so, that they should have won both those games. They had the blocked field goal that stopped them from winning the first
Yeah,
game.
they shouldn't have won that game.
I'm saying this is their argument.
Oh.
That they say we should have won both. It was a blocked field goal away from sweeping the Packers.
Would you agree, though, that this Packers team is not the same team as last year either?
No, of course not. We have Micah Parsons.
Completely different ballgame. And they talked about that.
Yeah.
They're afraid of Micah Parsons, as they should be. Ben Johnson talked a lot yesterday, and we'll hear from him later in the show about, and Matt LaFleur says this same crap. We have to win this week. We have to figure out a way to go 1-0 this week. I get it. This week's game, way bigger than just going 1-0. This is not a win your football game every week scenario. Whether it's the rivalry, where the teams land in the division, where they land in the playoff picture, this isn't the same old Bears, and it is not the same old Packers, and this is not a game that's just this same old rivalry.
Yeah.
It's a completely different animal.
I will tell you this. I talked a lot of game before the Packers-Vikings about how the Vikings had been the Packers' rival. And there were a few people that agreed with me. And it really came down to being a winning team. And this season, with the Bears also being a winning team and this game being so important, it has been straight gasoline poured on the fire of the Packers-Bears rivalry. I mean, everything this week is, I feel like, heightened way more than it has been in years past. And that's what winning does. It really makes a rivalry all that much sweeter. And now something inside of me's going back to the butterflies I had when it was Brewers Cubs and you know, just that series that happened. Now we have this game, Packers Bears. I don't know what it is, man, but yeah, this is it. This is big.
The 808 on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. 414-677-1250. The Bears are the Vikings from last year. When they win games by a second or last second field goal, and when they lose, they get blown out. Dude, I think the Bears are going to get blown out this weekend.
Well, you better hope so, because otherwise, apparently, they're going to win. According to the 808, that's what's going to happen. Either the Packers are going to blow them out, or the Bears are going to win a close one by last second field goal.
We're going to find out. The idea of the Bears being good just is not something I can wrap my arms around, and I don't believe they are. I just don't. I think there's so many glaring things that the record is hiding. I can't wait to dive into this in the morning mind.
Yeah, I feel like you might be in a little bit of denial. I'm excited to talk about it.
I'll share my information and you decide from there. But first, we have questions. And one of them is going to maybe make Josh cry.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. We'll get to that next. If you have a question, get it to us. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line 414-677-1250. A reminder, it's a huge week here at the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. It's the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. You can donate online at wisportsradio.com. You can donate via text. Text toys to 34984. Or if you're in the Milwaukee area, you can head to Blaine's Farm and Fleet on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. They're collecting cash and toys this week, 8 a.m., 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sparky from Wisconsin Sports Daily is literally out there all week. I think he's sleeping there.
Yeah, he might be.
This is his baby. It's his jam, and rightfully so. It's an amazing cause. Reminder, if you can't make it to Oak Creek and you're still in the Milwaukee area, swing by Natty Oaks in West Allis and drop your toys and or cash off there, and they'll make sure to get it delivered. The 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steel Wind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. I Have Questions is next, and boy, do we ever. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, this is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. And if you're new to the show, first, welcome. Where you been?
Yeah, hi.
Secondly, save this number. It's the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. And thirdly, every day at this time, you'll learn we have questions.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question.
Can you fly this plane and land it? Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
And questions aplenty we already have on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. If you have questions, we maybe have answers. And if we don't, we're definitely going to make one up.
Perfect.
That's definitely happened.
Yeah.
The first question, Josh, is yours. And you ask.
Yeah. It really comes down to, is this Bucks team right now going to lead to the departing of Giannis?
Okay. The question I wrote down.
Yes.
That you probably just can't get out of your mouth.
I can't
which I
say
understand.
it, so don't make me say it.
I'll read your question because that right there was BS. That wasn't your question at all.
It was, because that's the only way I can say it.
Okay, well, here's what you mean to say. Are we going to lose Giannis? That's your question. It's just better to be honest with yourself, Josh.
I mean, really, are we going to lose Giannis soon? Because I'm convinced that eventually we will lose Giannis. For a long time, I felt like it is so difficult to have a player, especially a player of his caliber, that spends their entire season with one team in the NBA. I mean, look at LeBron. Look how many different teams LeBron's been. Like, it's super uncommon. And so I am, not okay with it, but I have come to the realization that we will lose Giannis at some point. But is the play that's happening now from the Bucks, and it's an exclamation point on the question based on the game last night, are we going to lose Giannis soon?
The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line has the same question and some answers. Josie, our girl Josie. What's up, Josie? Assuming yesterday was a fluke, she says.
Yeah, been good.
Do you think we can get excited about Giannis and KPJ? They looked great on Friday, and before Giannis got hurt, we were winning games, and we would have lost last year in those same games. Do you really think it's panic time? So they're one and the same, because if Giannis moves on, the red flashing button, do not touch unless we lose Giannis, gets pushed.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what happens. It's the red button with the glass case that you have to open up the glass case, and it says, do not push in case of emergency. And I think the second we lose Giannis, boop, push the button.
Yeah.
So KPJ, you maybe saw last night, walked off the court holding his back and right to the locker room. No idea what that means.
Nope, not a
we
good
didn't
sign.
See any information. There's somebody else on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line that says, and I quote, they need to get something for him. Time to get rid of him.
Yeah,
Josh, are you ready?
They also said, I mean, Josh, aren't you the realist? Here's what I've looked at. Any realistic trade offer has never come close to being enough value for Giannis. And I'm not even talking about just from a fan perspective. I'm talking about the amount of haul you would need to rebuild the Bucks, because you lose Giannis, you literally are starting at the bottom, ground zero, rebuilding. Has never been put out there. It's not enough. And I don't know that it will ever be there in his prime to where I can say, okay, I mean, that's a really good offer as far as a trade. So I'm not saying, I understand where the 414 is coming from and saying, this is how it works. You gotta get something from him or for him. No, not if it's garbage, not if it's nothing in comparison.
What if you get nothing, though? Is something better than nothing?
I understand what you're saying, but it really depends on the situation. His contract's not up at the end of the season.
I know.
So it's not like this is it and we have to make a decision before the trade deadline of are we moving on from Giannis.
Is this when I remind you that this was your question?
I know, and I needed listen, I wanted this to be in the mind dump because I had to work through this. But we have other stuff to talk about in the mind dump, and so we turned it into a question.
You had a lot of wants today.
I hate this.
Not enough time.
I'm not even looking at my watch. It's too early for how I feel right now.
All right, well,
if I listen, hold on, now I'm going. Now you got me.
Okay.
If we listen to Giannis and what Giannis has said, okay, which has been super difficult because Giannis says one thing and then all of the national media says something completely different. But if we take the national media out of this and Windhorse and everyone else and Shams and all these BS people that say crap, and we just focus on what Giannis says, Giannis has said, I just need to be on a team that's competitive. I want to win. I want to win. I want to play in Milwaukee, but I want to win. Okay? I understand that he is a big part of this. And last night was different. Last night's loss was different because it felt like Giannis gave up. Which is super duper uncommon. We don't see that from Giannis. Usually it's Giannis goes 150%, and we look at the team around him and we go, what are you guys doing? That wasn't the case last night. It was really, really weird that even Giannis kind of didn't play well at the end. But if you look at where this Bucks team is right now and their trajectory, not just losing, but losing to games, Giannis is back. They should have beaten Washington easily.
Ugly.
And it was ugly. Those type of losses, after you already had a bunch of losses in a row, now you showed Giannis, all right, I'm not playing. This team's in trouble. Then Giannis comes back out and they still lose. Yeah, I'm not saying you're hitting the panic button, but I'm saying your hand is there because something will change with this team, and it might be Doc Rivers being shown the door. I don't know, but it's going to be something that's going to have to lead to the convincing of Giannis. Okay, some changes had to be made, but we're going to get this team back where it needs to be. If this Bucks team, Trevor, doesn't make the playoffs, if they don't even make the playoffs, or if they're in like the play-in games, whatever that is, the play-in tournament with the 9-10, that terrifies me. Because to me, that is Giannis. That is exactly what Giannis has been saying. As long as that doesn't happen, I'm not going anywhere.
So Jake in Dousman says that he believes changes will happen before Giannis leaves.
Yes, I agree.
That he also says, I feel like he does end up staying regardless. Then the 414 up top as well. If we're scrolling back up here through a bunch of text messages from you guys this morning, the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. 414-677-1250. He says, I mean, guys, didn't we know, like last year with the Dame injury and all the limitations as far as the roster goes, that the next couple of years were going to be a bit of a struggle? I thought we knew this. So, Josh, did you not see this coming? Or did what Giannis said before the season that we're going to be a problem, did that make Bucks fans forget that this was potentially going to be a tough year?
No, I knew it was going to be a tough year. Not like this. I thought it was going to be, you're not maybe the top two teams in the East. Maybe you're 3 or 4, maybe you're like a 5 seed. It's a little bit of a growing year, but you got Miles Turner. You did some things that were exciting. People forget about that too. That kind of gave this team some, lit a fire, had fans a little bit excited about what could be. And then you had Giannis talking about these things and being confident in this team. And then they were winning. Then he went down with the injury. And it's like ever since he rushed back, which I still feel like he did, it hasn't led to success.
This is a completely torn subject. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line is not on the same page. 414-677-1250. One text reads, these are hard conversations, but it's time to have them. I love 34. Another text reads, Giannis needed to go 2 years ago.
Yeah, that person should get blocked.
Well, this is true. And I have a buddy
that's true. It's true. Giannis needed to go 2 years
Can I
ago.
read the rest of the text message? Read this, and he's not wrong. Whoever this is not wrong. Complete mismanagement since Haslam. You guys, if we're being completely honest with ourselves, I'm not afraid to say it. I'm in Green Bay. Haslam's the problem. Haslam's the problem in Cleveland, and Haslam is the problem in Milwaukee. A buddy of mine who is a diehard Cleveland fan, the second Haslam became an owner of the Bucks, he texted me, no joke. I'll see if I can go back and find it. And he said, all the best to you guys. It's over.
Yes,
Not
I also
kidding.
felt awful when Haslam came in. It was some bad vibes. Was not a fan of that. But everyone said, yeah, but now you get to spend his money. And it was
Well,
okay.
It's not working.
It's not working. Especially if that money went to buy Miles Turner. And he has been a huge disappointment so far.
And he brings up a good point. So if you get rid of Doc, then what? You still have the same players. It's kind of like the fire fickle mindset. Is moving on from Doc, Josh, going to get it done?
I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm just saying I don't know how this team decides to keep Doc and move Giannis. Doc has to be a piece that falls before Giannis is traded.
Well, remember, I mean, we heard Doc say it. We'll play it for you again right now. Doc has this whole thing figured out. Post-game last night, if you missed it earlier, they blew a 16-point lead. Doc, what happened? You're the coach.
We got the lead by playing the right way. The ball was moving. Everyone was touching it. And then it just went away.
Nailed it. The 262. I love it. Can I vent for a sec?
Oh, yeah.
I love it when people text in and go right at us about not understanding how the organization works. The 262. Haslam isn't in charge of the team. Edens is. Know the structure of the organization. I don't care. You don't think an owner of the organization is having conversations about the organization that he owns? I don't care who's in charge of the team. When Haslam got here, it was bound to fall apart because he does not view his professional teams the way other owners do. Look up the proof. It's in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. And to really just, put a button on it, put a pin on it, to put the belt buckle in the right spot. I'm just going to keep making crap up to piss people up.
How about the 920 here that said, Giannis is always hurt come playoff time. What is he really worth? Well, 920, if you don't have Giannis, there won't be playoff time. So
we don't know that.
Yeah, okay. Because
we don't. Right now, what do we have? Listen, Josh, you said it yourself just a little bit ago. And I was shocked that you said it. That he's going to move on eventually.
Yes.
I don't think we can sit and say that the Bucks franchise is dead just because Giannis is moving on.
No, but it's going to be a long time of hurt. Because the only way that it's not is if you get this magical haul for him that I have not been able over the 5, 6, 7 years of this being the conversation of where's Giannis going to go and what could teams trade for Giannis and Giannis needs to go to LA. Giannis needs to go here, blah, 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 blah. There hasn't been a scenario that I've heard of a haul that is even fathomable that the Bucks would take.
I understand, but you said something a little bit ago that stunned me. You said you thought Giannis gave up last night.
Am I wrong?
I'm asking you again to see if you need to clarify anything. You may very well have your first Take Back Tuesday within the same day. Like, you legitimately think Giannis gave up last night?
In comparison to what Giannis usually does, that was different. Yeah.
Tell me more.
It looked like Giannis didn't finish. It looked like Giannis was along with the rest of the team, which has happened over multiple seasons of Giannis being here, where we have complained about the team around Giannis not being able to finish, falling apart, being frustrated. And it seemed like last night Giannis was a part of that, not on the outside looking in.
Meaning he gave up, though. Like, he didn't just fall off for a game. He didn't just have a bad game. After they blew that 16-point lead, was that your feeling in the fourth quarter that he just literally gave up?
I don't
Why
want to say
think about
I don't want to say he gave up, but he it was disappointing play. It was really really disappointing,
undoubtedly,
to Giannis standards.
Well, I mean, but
I'm saying
him
like on
giving up-
an effort standpoint, not even just a make standpoint.
That's what I'm curious on. If you got the impression that he gave up, which I highly doubt, I don't think Giannis is a give up guy. What happened? What is happening in a game like that, coming off of a horrible run, most of it being without Giannis? They blow a 16-point lead, and then the fourth quarter is just miserable, just awful basketball to watch. What did I say to you the second we get on the phone last night? Thanks for making me watch this crap.
Yeah.
Well, but Giannis is in. But is he? We're not so sure right now. All right. Did you get your answer? Are we going to lose Giannis?
I don't know. Eventually.
Do you feel better?
No, not at all. Not
Okay,
even a little bit.
Well, let's move on, then, shall we? The most electrifying sound of the day is next. If you missed this, you're going to want to hear this, and then you're going to want to go look it up. It's nuts. We'll play that for you next. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, we are inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. It's going to be okay, buddy. It will.
Okay.
The 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest is happening now. You can donate online at wisportsradio.com. You can text toys to 34984. If you're in Milwaukee, head to Blaine's Farm and Fleet on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. They're collecting cash and toys there this week, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And if you can't make it there, but you still live in the Milwaukee area, head over to Natty Oaks in West Allis. Grab yourself a big old bowl of chili and drop your toys off there. They'll make sure they get it over there. The 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steel Wind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. All right, time for the most electrifying sound of the day.
It's time for
The most electrifying
sound of the day
The most electrifying
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
47-yard try now by Younghoe Koo, and he stumbled. Gillen gets swallowed up. Patriots ball. I don't think I've ever seen that. Looked like he just stubbed his foot right into the turf. There it is. Whoops. I guess that goes down as a miss. I don't know. He never touched the ball.
How do you score that one in the book?
And that is the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. Amazing.
He glitched.
Whoops.
Whoops. So if you didn't see this last night, Younghoe Koo, Giants kicker, went to address a 48-yard field goal attempt and literally kicked the turf as if it just jumped up and bit him in the foot.
Yeah.
And it couldn't help but make Josh and I go, has this ever happened to us as Packers fans?
You know what? You know what I said when I saw that? I said,
What the hell is even that?
That's what I said.
It wasn't good. So it made us reminisce for a second. And oh yeah, it did happen to us one time as Packers fans. We had a glitch against the Seahawks. You might remember this.
Good kick up into the air. Chris Matthews. Brandon Bostic had a chance at it. And he is lit up by Sean Slocum back on the sideline. Bostic couldn't. Matthews could.
Yeah, that was.
Granted, the stakes were different.
Correct. Much different.
But last night sure made you feel like that was weird. The Bostic thing was weird. I understand it was a mistake, but it was weird. Last night when Younghoe Koo literally kicked the turf, I was like, did he slip? What did he talk? I didn't see anything after that, but boy, did the internet blow up.
Have you ever seen someone, or maybe in your own life, had a situation where you were running up to kick a soccer ball or something and you just like mistimed it?
And missed the ball completely?
Maybe not like missed it, but like, you know, like you muffed it. Like you just, you like it went like 6 feet. Like you're like, oh my God. Have you ever had that moment?
I couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time for a lot of years.
Sure.
Highly uncoordinated.
That's what it seemed like, except for he gets paid millions of dollars to do it.
There's that.
That was a big difference. That was insane.
That was insane. Insane week this week. Bears, Packers, and so much to talk about in the next segment. The Bears are legit, so says On Air Josh on Twitter. That's just, that's how I'm going to refer to you when you say the Bears are legit.
Okay.
It's at On Air Josh on Twitter. That's who says the Bears are legit.
Yeah, go ahead.
At Trevor Thomas IW does not agree.
Okay.
And we wonder where you stand. The Nicolay Law fan talk and text line 414-677-1250. It's the morning mind dump coming up next. So get yours in now. Do you believe that the Bears are legitimate? Is there any other protocol that you need to put in place before we get into this, Josh? Like, is the word legitimate? Is that what you're looking for in terms of feedback?
I think that's a fair term. Because I'm definitely not saying they're better, but I'm not saying that they are paper tigers. I think that argument is flown. But you disagree.
I do. I have reasonings.
Okay.
And I will hear your reasonings first. You say the Bears are legit. So I want, when we come back, for Josh to say why he believes the Bears are legit. And then we'll review the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line and whether they believe that the Bears are legit and their reasoning behind so. Because it's very easy for a Packers fan to go, nah, they suck. The Bears still suck. Or as somebody that's a little looser, they can go, you know what? This Bears team is legitimate.
Are you saying I'm not a Packers fan?
Why.
Is that what you just said to me right now?
Nope. No, I was talking about Packers fans and others. It was just a comparison. Did you call yourself? You're not a Packers fan?
No, you just said, because you know,
drop.
for a Packers fan, you know, it's easy to say, well, the Bears suck.
Yeah,
but for some fans that are a little looser,
yeah, I think you're a little looser. I think you are. I think you're showing your looseness.
Wow. Now I'm offended.
That's okay. You'll get over it.
I don't know that I will.
A little bit of time between now and the top of the hour.
Now we're gonna fight. Now we're fighting.
Text toys to 34984, the 19th annual toy drive for Children's of Wisconsin and the Robin's Nest. The Nicolay Law fan talking text line 414-677-1250. When we come back, it's the morning mind dump. The coffee's kicked in. Josh is ready to roll. We'll see if there are reasons behind his gut feeling. Are the Bears legitimate? That's next, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios and powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We are inside Wisconsin sports. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
The situation with the Chicago Bears, obviously.
It is a situation.
It is a situation. And we're all surprised.
Yeah.
Shocked, if you will. But, the thing about the Bears is I've found historically, if they're playing well, you just wait a week or two, and then it changes. Okay, so you need the Pope to be a Bears fan, and that's how this happened.
Yes.
And you can see the Pope wasn't really praying necessarily for the Bears, and then after the first 2 weeks, he really started. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, God is a Packers fan, so it's only going to take.
The one and only Charlie Barons. You get the Pope, we get God. Sounds good.
That's fair.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios and powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Hit us up. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. Are the Bears legitimate? It's the Morning Mind Dump. Here we go.
Voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
The coffee is kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We've got no food, we've got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off!
It's time for the Morning Mind Dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. What's on your mind? What's something on your chest that you just got to let go of before you can start your Tuesday? And I think Jason in Wind Lake, Josh, does a really good job of setting this up.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if this has to do a little bit with us, to your point, being in denial, meaning we may be in denial that the Bears
we
are
being
legitimate.
you. Yeah. Okay.
No. I'm saying to your point that the Bears are legitimate. I'm saying we, as in some Packers fans, myself included, don't believe that. This is an interesting take from Jason in Wind Lake. He goes, I have an interesting mind dump. I'm completely over Packers fans using the Golden Days as a burn against other teams. Nobody cares that we ran the league 1 billion years ago in the 60s. Hell, the title from 14 years ago is ancient history. So that's a good setup for it might just be something we're used to saying, that the Bears still suck. It's been this way for a long time, specifically under Matt LaFleur as well, 11-1. And yet this year feels a little different. Josh, why do you believe the Bears are legitimate?
Yeah. So we've had multiple conversations about sports teams and how you identify that team. And we had Joe Thomas on, and he came on, he talked about it. You are what your record is. You've agreed with that. You've said it. You can't deny what the Bears' record is. You can't say that the Bears are a bad team when they are currently the number one team in the NFC. You can't do that. You can't make that argument if you believe that a team is what their record is. Now, before we get started, first of all, now I'm fired up because before we went to break, if you heard this, Trevor essentially said that I am a loose Packers fan. Those were the words he used, okay? Which almost, I had to almost hold the dump button down in my reply to you. First of all, you are an ignorant Packers fan because being able to say that a team that the Packers are facing are a good team does not mean that I don't believe the Packers can beat them. Nicolay Law, Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. Jason in Sheboygan, the Bears are 100% legit, but the Packers are the much better team. Bingo! Absolutely nailed it. See how both can be true? See how I can believe that the Packers are a better team, but still think that the Bears are a legitimate team? It can happen. You don't have to be a Packers fan and say, well, the Bears have always sucked, and I'm a Packers fan, so therefore I can't even think that the Bears are a good team. That's a ridiculous take. That's a ridiculous mindset to have as a fan. You can say that a team is good. I have gone on record saying multiple times on this station that I think that the only team that can beat the Packers are the Packers. The Packers end up losing these games to these teams. They play to their opponent. If the Packers put their best foot forward and go out on the field and perform the way that they can week in and week out, they win football games. It's when they make mistakes and when they have missed opportunities that it costs them. Against this Bears team, it could cost them because this Bears team finds ways to win in games they shouldn't. They find ways to win games that they shouldn't have been in on last-second field goals and crazy plays that happen. And it doesn't matter if there's high scoring, low scoring, it doesn't matter. As long as the Packers understand that the Bears are a legitimate opponent, I guess I don't really care if you do. But I am not wrong in saying that the Bears are a legitimate team. Their record spells it out alone.
Is that it? Is that
That's the only argument you need.
No,
is that
your
Bears,
only argument?
No, I can keep going, but I figured you'd want to talk at some point in this conversation.
So
I'll go Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson is a legitimate coach. He's absolutely a legitimate coach. We had so much fun being able to razz the Bears forever on their coaching decisions, what the ownership group kept bringing back, signing Eberflus and all this other stuff, and what the Bears organization did. They made a good decision. They went and gotten Ben Johnson, and he's good. He's a good coach. I hate that he's in Chicago. The fact that he went out and he had that clip of him and his team in the locker room, and he takes his shirt off, and everyone's pumped up. That Bears team bought in on Ben Johnson, and why the heck wouldn't they? He's a good coach, coaching a good team. That's all you need to know. We've been talking all season long about the problems we've had with Matt LaFleur. Chicago's not saying that. Chicago is saying this team is finding ways to win games. They believe in their head coach. Their head coach believes in their team, and they're the number one team in the NFC. Do I think they're going to be the number one team in the NFC when it's all said and done? No, I absolutely don't. But at this point alone, they have made enough of an argument to say they are a legitimate football team.
The record and the coach. That's if I have to sum up that morning mind dump. It's the record, because you're as good as your record, and they have a good coach. Is that what I hear you saying? I just want to make sure I'm not putting words in your mouth.
Nope, go ahead. Yep.
Okay. So the Bears are 9-3. In the conversation about the Badgers were about their losing record. So are you saying that because they have a winning record, that proves that they're good or legit, just as if we were looking at the Badgers and their losing record, and that's why they're not legit? Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. So 9-3, first in the NFC North. Packers 8-3-1. Would you say the Packers are legit?
Absolutely.
Okay, I would as well. Here's why I don't believe the Bears are legit. There's a few things that work against them that they've gotten away with in these games. The first being this, and we've talked about this in the past, their scoring differential is completely out of bounds. And it shows you that there's a little bit of proof in the pudding that maybe this team isn't what we believe, or some believe that they are. Here's the other thing. I don't know that they have been completely tested from an offensive team that may be able to take this to a different level, like I believe the Packers will this weekend. The Bears are currently giving up a team average of 26.5 points per game. That's 27th in the league. They're also giving up, on average, 363 yards per game. So, with all due respect to all of the takeaways, something like 26 takeaways or forced turnovers that they've had since December 1st in their first 12 games, it's interesting for them to be compared to some sort of championship caliber team when they're completely dependent on the takeaway. If you literally break this down, they are 8-0 when they generate multiple takeaways, and they're 0-2 in games that they don't. So here we go against a Packers team, for the most part, has not given away the football this year. Jordan Love, not throwing interceptions. And so if the Bears are dependent on takeaways, yet they're giving up tons of points and tons of yards per game, my feeling is that that doesn't necessarily make them illegitimate, but we're going to find out just how legitimate they are against a Packers team that does the opposite. Now, the Bears' run game is a problem. This we're aware of. They ran the ball right up the Eagles, you know what, and that's what kept them in this game. On the flip side, the Packers' passing game is at a completely different level, and I don't believe that the Bears are prepared for that. In my mind, what makes a team complete is the same thing that makes a game complete. A complete game is all four facets: offense, defense, special teams, and coaching. I think they have a good coach. I don't think they have a great coach. I think they're currently riding the wave of what the shirt thing, which I'll talk about in the Take Back Tuesday, because I would like to take back making fun of Ben Johnson for taking off his shirt. I was unaware that there was a reason for it. Now I know the reason. It's actually pretty cool. And I have a question about that as well. I just don't think that the record and the coach and the hype makes them the legit team that you would say that they are. The games have been too close. And when it's not close, they get blown out. And so what shows you that a team is legitimate? That they can compete. Have the Packers gotten blown out this year?
No.
Not once.
Because they've played to their opponent every game.
No, they haven't gotten blown out. Not once.
Correct.
Meaning they literally have been in every single football game. The Bears cannot say the same thing, nor can they say the same thing about good teams. They got completely blown out at the beginning of the year. They're on a heater. We'll give you that. They're riding high. But Ben Johnson said it himself. We haven't accomplished anything yet.
Okay.
You want to play? Can you play that audio, please?
Oh,
Ben Johnson hasn't accomplished that. That's the Ben Johnson on accomplishments piece.
The job is not done. We haven't accomplished anything yet. We're at 9 wins, and I think this year you're probably going to have to get to 11 to make it in the tournament. And so that's what we need to do. We got to get there first. We got to find a way to get there, and the only way to do that is to find a way to be 1-0 this week.
I think some of that's coach fodder, that they haven't accomplished anything yet. There's 5 games left, 2 of them against the Packers themselves. We reviewed yesterday how unlikely the Bears are to make the playoffs. They're the most unlikely team currently in the playoff picture that are unlikeliest to make the playoffs. 77% likely to make the playoffs. Everyone else below them has a greater percentage. Why? Because of next-gen stats. And that's what proves whether a team is legitimate or not. Meaning, if they look at this team as a whole and compare it to the other 6 teams that are already in the playoffs if the season ended today, they're the worst team. They're the least legitimate. They have the least likelihood of making the playoffs. So I hate the fact that we as Packers fans look at a record and go, whoo, look out. They're legit. They're the team that we're afraid of.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Those are different things. This Packers team has no team that they should be afraid of besides themselves. Depending on what Packers team takes the field, that's going to determine if they win or lose on Sunday. It has nothing to do with their opponent. The Packers can beat any team, including this Bears team.
Can the Bears beat any team?
No. That
makes them not legit.
That's crazy. So what's legitimate to you? Is legitimate to you Super Bowl winner, like Super Bowl favorite or not? Is that
I would say that, are they in a conversation of being a championship team?
Do you think that the Bears have a chance to make the playoffs?
Yes, I believe that the Bears have a chance to make the playoffs.
Do you think that any team that makes the playoffs is legitimate?
No.
So
that does not automatically make them legitimate. As a matter of fact, correct me if I'm wrong, but either a 500 team or an under 500 team has made the playoffs in the NFL in the last 10 years. Does that make them legitimate? No.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Let's say that the Bears beat the Packers, God forbid, on Sunday. Will that change your mind? I know it's going to change your silly next-gen stats, That number that says 76 will go up to 93.
How funny that today you think they're silly, yet yesterday
I
you
said-
were the one
I
that
said
wanted
they were
to talk
ridic-
about it because of the next gen stats.
But I
That's
said that they were
hilarious.
ridiculous. If you were listening yesterday, I said that the next gen stats were ridiculous and that I don't buy into them because they change so easily.
I just do not believe that the Bears are a legitimate football team on paper, regardless of their record, because their record could easily be a different way. Their record, in comparison to the Packers' record, is far more likely to be 500 than the Packers are. On the flip side of that, to be 10-1 right now. The Bears are more likely against the teams that they've played and the way they've performed to be closer to a 500 team than the Packers are just as close of being a 10-1 team.
Can you tell me
goes the opposite direction?
Can you tell me what teams in the NFC right now you think are legitimate teams?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I literally can't.
So you don't have a definition of what a legitimate team is.
No, I'm sharing with you why I don't believe the Bears are legitimate. That's the conversation.
But you can't tell me what a legitimate team is. So how can I? If I'm trying to argue with you that the Bears aren't a legitimate team, right? That's your argument. You can't tell me what a legitimate team is. The only team you've been able to say is the Packers.
No. I shared with you just a bit ago. Must have missed it. That what makes a legitimate team is a complete game. The exact same thing I said last week when we were talking about a complete game. What makes a team legitimate is that they have a complete offense, a complete defense, a complete special teams, and a complete coaching staff.
And you think the Packers have all four of those?
No, I'm saying the Bears don't.
But do you think the Packers do?
No.
Didn't you say at the beginning of this argument that you think that the Packers are legitimate? You asked me, you said, do you think the Packers are legitimate? And I said yes, and you said, I agree.
Legitimate.
Oh, more legitimate. Okay, right. So they're still not legitimate, but they're more legitimate. You see the moving
Packers
of the field goal posts here?
The Packers looked a lot more legitimate in the last game than we've appeared them to see all year. So I believe that the Packers are more legitimate and closer to being a legitimate team, the legit team, than the Bears are currently and will prove themselves to be. And I think that's the argument, right? Like, Josh believes that based on the record and the coaching staff, that the Bears are a legit team. I take a step backwards and go, I don't think so. And here are the reasons why I don't think so. And the main reason is their defense. You cannot have a legit team with a defense that is giving up 26.5 points per game and over 360 yards per game. That's not a legit team. That is a team that's getting lucky. That's finding themselves in games and finding ways to win those games at the end. But they're far closer to a 500 team than the Packers are to the opposite side of a 10-1. I just think that the Packers are A, more legitimate, and B, that the Bears just aren't. So there you go. The Nicolay Law fan talking text line. Do they agree? Do they disagree? Who do they agree with? We'll find out when we come back. So much more to get to on this. We're going to bump in the next segment the idea of talking about Take Back Tuesday, because let's just give ourselves one more segment to see if there's anything that we're going to immediately take back. We have so much audio to get to from Ben Johnson, this whole Matt LaFleur thing. We promised to play that for you too. All right, reminder, 19th annual toy drive for Children's, Wisconsin, and Robin's Nest. Donate online at wisportsradio.com. Text toys to 34984 or drop them off in Oak Creek if you're in Milwaukee. Here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, we know there are some of you down there just as much as there's you here in Green Bay and the Fox Valley where I am. Josh is in Milwaukee. You could be in Wausau. You could also be in Duluth. Statewide on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, you get to participate. We encourage you to with the 19th annual toy drive for Children's, Wisconsin, and Robin's Nest. Remember, Natty Oaks, West Dallas, you can drop them off there as well. Farm and Fleet on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. all the way through Friday. The 19th annual toy drive for Children's, Wisconsin, and Robin's Nest, brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steel Wind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. We're back in a second inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios and powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Appropriate. We appreciate someone in the 414 saying, I just need to hear too legit to quit.
Fair. It's a fair request.
Request granted. Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor and Josh, the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network statewide. Good morning to Green Bay in the Valley, Wausau, Duluth Superior, and of course, Milwaukee. At WI Sports Radio is how you can follow along. At Trevor Thomas IW, at On Air Josh. Also on Twitter, live there, and on YouTube as well, if you'd like to join along via video. The conversation in the morning mind dump, carrying over just a bit. Are the Bears legitimate? I say no. Josh says yes. Let's go to the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. Do you think the Bears are legitimate? The 920, this is kind of sums up Josh's argument. All I hear is blah, 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 blah. All I ever know is the Bears still suck. And that's valid because that's how we opened the segment, was literally Charlie Barron saying, the Bears will do something to remind us that they're the Bears. And Josh, that's kind of your argument, is we can't sit on that forever.
Right. And technically, I'm just concerned about the team not sitting on that. Fans are going to fan. I'm not going to tell you how. As long as the team doesn't overlook the Bears and go blah, 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 the Bears still suck, fine. Then they'll still come away with a win.
The 414, just keep it real, Josh. That's what I respect. Also from the 414, the number one seed, let's get real. I can't decide if that's pro-legit or pro-illegitimate. BVG in the Berg. Even Vegas knows the Bears are frauds. Check the playoff odds of all the current playoff teams, and the Bears are the lowest in the NFC.
Yep, you made that argument.
What does that tell you, though? That's not the same argument as the next gen stats. That's saying in the NFC, the Bears in Las Vegas have the worst odds to make the playoffs. Or is that to win the Super Bowl? That might be to win the Super Bowl. Either way, Vegas disagrees.
Yeah. Listen, besides the Browns, the Bears have a very tough schedule ahead of them, if you include the Packers.
Who's had the harder schedule to date, you think, Josh? Green Bay or the Bears?
Green Bay. Yeah.
Does that make the argument a little bit softer for you in that the
Packers... I don't think the Bears are a better team than the Packers. I absolutely don't think that. I think the Packers are the best team in the NFL when they are the Packers. When they're the Packers that win against the Panthers? No. When they're the Packers that went up against the Lions? You bet. Jekyll and Hyde, completely different teams.
The 262, do we dare say the Bears have found a franchise quarterback? The Bears and Vikings seem to be swapping places. Detroit and Green Bay will continue to be the class of the North. That might be true. Caleb Williams is having a great year. Over 2,700 passing yards. So too does Jordan Love. Jordan Love has a few more, maybe 50, 60 more passing yards. But Caleb Williams is having the season that they hoped he would when they brought him to Chicago. At least that was, you might remember the king at that time. When Caleb Williams came in, they were all jacked, and that didn't go well. The 414, listen, guys, let's have some respect for history, the history of the franchise. I think that's really disrespectful of that texter to say that, but it is what it is, and here's 14 from the golden days. I think there's a lot of Green Bay Packers that are hanging on to the golden days, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you see?
This one from the 608, I think this is Rhino. Yeah, Rhino. Said the Bears went on the road to Philadelphia and ran for nearly 300 yards against the same Eagles team the Packers scored 7 points against at home. That should be taken seriously. I'm not even taking the argument against how the Packers played against the Eagles, because the Packers played to their competition, and so the Packers should have been better against the Eagles, and they weren't. My bigger concern is that, and as you pointed out, Trevor, the run game for the Bears is legit. And we just lost Wyatt. I don't like that. That's not a good recipe. That's a recipe for change needing to be made. And I'm hoping that Matt LaFleur is, scheming something up, and Hafley, and they're working together to find a way to stop that, because without Wyatt, it's going to be tough.
I thought about that when I saw a Packers press release come out that today, I believe there's a number of different Packers headed to a nonprofit here in the Green Bay area called Exceptional Equestrians. It's horse therapy for people that need that and or have special needs. It's a fantastic organization. And I saw that there was maybe 4 or 5 Packers that are headed there, and a couple of them were defensive linemen. And a part of me went, can we wrap those guys in bubble wrap, please, and not have them get kicked in the face by a horse accidentally? Not that I'm saying that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But to your point, Josh, when we see how much the Bears ran on the Eagles and we lose Devontae Wyatt, and to my knowledge, they haven't made a claim in free agency of any kind to try to bolster that D-line yet. Keyword yet. There's some guys out there, whether we want them in Green Bay or not is probably the argument.
TikTok. They're running out of time, too.
They also might be confident in who we have, which is fair as well.
A few more here. 414 said, Josh's argument isn't the Bears are more legit than the Packers, just legitimate. I mean, you can only play the games on your schedule, and close or not, the Bears find a way to win. Thank you. Gosh, that's the text of the day. Go ahead.
262, Ziggy. For the sake of argument, are the Broncos and the Patriots the only legit teams in the NFL? Fascinating, because there's been a lot of people that have said that the NFL is wide open. But there are 2 teams that seem to stick out a little bit more than the others, and those are the 2.
Yeah, but before the loss to Carolina, everyone was saying the Rams were right there too. So who knows?
Another fan asked if Caleb Williams is legitimate. That's valid. I think so. Just as I would say right now, just as legitimate as Jordan Love.
715 fans who are realists like Josh have a steady take throughout the season. Then there's fans like Trevor. They have takes that vary wildly from week to week. Add to it that Trevor wouldn't define what a legitimate team is or provide examples. That eliminates his ability to argue his point.
Well, I've done it twice. Do you want me to do it a third time that tells you what a legitimate team is?
Yeah, he said it's all 4 facets. See, I was listening of the ball. You needed offense, defense, special teams, coaching.
Yeah.
My thing is you couldn't tell me a team that is legitimate. So I don't know. And then you said the Packers are more legitimate. And so that's where there was too much gray area for me on what a legitimate team is in your mind.
Jason in the 920, I agree with Josh. Trevor, how can you say a team isn't legitimate when you don't know what legit is? Am I not saying what legit is? I feel like there's a few people out there that
it's because you can't come up with a example of a team currently that is legitimate.
Yeah, the most legit I've seen a team be was the Packers on Thanksgiving. That was as legit as we could expect a team to play. Now, guys, I've watched 0 NFL football from other teams. It's inside Wisconsin sports. All of my comparisons and all of my takes have to do with us watching the Packers play. And that's what we're talking about is, are the Bears legitimate? So we can go over what we have from the Bears schedule and how they've performed and compare that to the Packers for the sake of argument per se.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of a legit team is a team probably like the Broncos, who seem to have it along with the coaching. I mean, you can't argue that when head coach of the Broncos' name is failing me at the moment. You know, Josh? Peyton. Sean Payton. He changed that franchise pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Fair to say that Ben Johnson may or may not be having the same impact. There's a lot going on in Chicago, I think, from a coaching standpoint, energy. I mean, we've said this, like there's probably a piece of us that's a little jealous, if we're being completely honest, Packer fans.
Because we've been dealing with our feelings on our coach all season long. And Ben Johnson's the new shiny toy in Chicago, and it's working. We got
George on the north side, yeah?
Yeah, George on the north side here. George, you there?
Hey, yep. How you guys doing?
So, George,
listen,
what's up, man?
I love the way you guys are going back and forth, and the whole big back and forth about playoff team, not playoff team. I'm gonna look at it like this. I'm gonna look at the NFL like a pot of gumbo. We got a lot of stuff in there. You got a lot of teams in the pot. So how I'm gonna look at it is exactly like this. You are 100% right. You do need all 4 levels. But how consistently do every team in the NFL play at that level all the time? There's no pure cut anything. It's wide open. I go back to the Packers team that won, that wasn't supposed to win. You know what happened? They kicked in the playoffs, got in and went in hot, and played all 4 levels on fire. So whatever team, once the playoffs start, where everything is 0-0, I ain't going off what happened in the regular season because it doesn't matter. Every team is back to donut. Whatever team catches fire and plays all 4 level, either in the NFC or the AFC, will be the Super Bowl champion, period.
Amen, George.
I love it. Thanks, George.
That's a good way to end the argument. At the end of the day, let's just see what happens in the playoffs. And right now, I think the Packers have a much more legit chance of making the playoffs than the Bears do. And hopefully the Packers prove that this weekend.
Yep. This is a huge game. This is a huge game against the Bears team, and it wouldn't be a huge game if their opponent wasn't legitimate. And I hope that the Packers are taking them seriously. I hope that they rise to the test, that they play to their competition of not letting the Bears prove anything, and that the Packers come out at home at Lambeau and put to rest any argument, and we can continue, playing the Bears still suck song and everything else like we have for a long time. But this team is not the same as teams in the past. This is a Ben Johnson-led Bears team, and it's something that hopefully people are, at least the team, are studying up on.
That is the only thing I have for a Take Back Tuesday is I take back making fun of or commenting about Ben Johnson taking his shirt off. I was unaware of the reasoning behind this. Josh, did you know there was a reason?
I did not. I thought he was just getting into it with his team.
Me too. I thought he was just losing his marbles, which, by the way, I was really impressed with. Good for him. Not so much. Ben Johnson took his shirt off to trigger a giveaway of free hot dogs for the city of Chicago from a restaurant called the Wiener Circle. They promised that if Ben Johnson did so, free hot dogs for Chicago. So that's what made him do that. Ben Johnson even called himself a man of the people. He wanted to feed a city. And there's something to be said about this city having the Bears back right now. But if the Cubs are any proof, they will turn on you quick.
And that's why I cannot stress enough how big of a game this is. It's not just about seeding. It's about Bears fans for the first time in a long time looking at their team and saying, hey, we got a shot. I haven't heard Bears fans talking about a Super Bowl contending team. I've heard Bears fans talk about a team beating the Packers.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. So this weekend is still the Bears Super Bowl in my mind. But it's a big game against a legitimate opponent.
And it started with Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur in the offseason, and it got weird quick. Next, we'll review that saga before we talk to Matt Schneidman at the top of the hour, because he was not shy of questions in regards to this very thing as well. Ben Johnson versus Matt LaFleur. Is it that or the Bears versus the Packers? We'll review. That's next on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. All week, you can donate online at wisportsradio.com. You can text toys to 34984. If you're in Milwaukee, head to Blaine's Farm and Fleet on Rawson Avenue over in Oak Creek. We're collecting cash and toys this week from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. all the way through Friday. And if you can't make it to Oak Creek, but you're down there in the West Allis area, stop by Natty Oaks, drop off your toy. They will shuttle it over for you. The 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steel Wind Industries, by The Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. So is it Ben Johnson versus Matt LaFleur or Bears versus Packers? Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. First things first, we both agree. Yeah, right. The answer is yes. First thing, we both agree. This is a big one. Ben Johnson agrees as well.
It's one of those that I think lives in NFL history. You know, I think it goes back for a long time. Two of the most winning franchises in the NFL. You know, I think that continues to be the case. So it's a big one.
It's a big one. We agree. But do the players know that? I mean, oftentimes we ask that here in Green Bay. Like, are the new players aware of the Packers-Bears rivalry? I think we have a different way in Green Bay, Josh, of making them aware. If you've never walked in the player entrance, you get mightily aware real quick what this franchise is all about. But in Chicago, is it the same?
Our players will be well informed of what that's about. I know the guys that have been here, they certainly know and they understand, but we have a number of new faces, so they'll know by the end of the week.
Okay, good.
Okay, they'll have them all caught up. Little history lesson. Break out the books.
Everybody will be up to speed.
There we go.
You might recall when Ben Johnson was introduced as the Bears' new head coach, he had this to say about Matt LaFleur.
And to be quite frank with you, I kind of enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice a year.
Okay. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Fired up.
Jerk.
Yeah. So they asked him about that very thing yesterday. And as you'd expect, the Bears backpedaled. Here we go.
In the introductory press conference you had when you got hired, you said you had enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. Why was it important for you to get across the Packer rivalry to the fan base?
It's a big week. It's a big week. We know how important this rivalry is, so just wanted to address that.
Okay, so essentially no comment.
No comment.
Is what I heard.
Like it's when you reel in a fish.
Yeah.
My bad. You shouldn't have said that. Gave him bulletin board material. I thought at some point Matt LaFleur addressed this. And Matt Schneidman asked him about this, and we'll ask Schneid about this at the top of the next hour when Matt Schneidman from The Athletic and the Tundra joins us. He had talked to Matt about this. I think he asked Matt about it again yesterday in Matt's press conference, but so too did the Pat McAfee show. I completely forgot about this until I did a little searching on the old tubes of you. Matt LaFleur was on with Pat McAfee when Pat McAfee and the whole crew were here for the NFL draft. You might remember this is what it sounded like when Matt McAfee and his boys brought up the whole Ben Johnson comment thing to Matt.
You get a good football coach, as he said himself, in Ben Johnson.
Whoa! Yes!
So, but no, I do respect Ben. You can't. He's one of the best play callers in the game.
I like talking there. I like that rivalry still exists.
That's good.
See, Matt's got it in him. I just wish we saw that more.
The thing is, though, you got to be really careful about that. Otherwise, you end up being what Ben Johnson did. If you put too much out, you're giving all the other teams, the opportunity to throw it back twice as much in your face.
Yeah. It's definitely more likely in the Bears-Packers rivalry than anywhere else. But that Matt LaFleur shows up on Pat McAfee. That Matt LaFleur shows up on Bussin' with the Boys. And that maybe is what bugs me the most when we see a press conference like we did yesterday from Matt. Almost stone-like. I literally thought to myself yesterday, is Matt LaFleur in his pressers a bit of a second coming of Bill Belichick?
I would just I know it's drastic. In his pressers, Okay.
In his pressers.
I was
In
going to
his
say,
pressers.
on the sideline, I'd love that.
No. In his pressers.
Bill Belichick is, pretty good coach. He did all
In
right.
his pressers. Seems that way a little bit. But then you get to hear Matt LaFleur on Bussin' with the Boys or on McAfee like we just played, and he seems to come alive a little bit with the personality. So, nonetheless, it's a big game. The Bears are aware. The Packers are aware. And it's a big one because both teams are legitimate.
Oh,
Is that what you said earlier?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yes, and like we did yesterday, we spent a lot of time on the show yesterday breaking down the playoff seeding and possibilities. All of it really came down to 2 games of the Packers and Bears. I mean, essentially, so much plays out just based on what happens in this game and the next one between the Packers and the Bears.
So it's Tuesday. Coming out of the game on Monday, Josh, what do you think the storyline will be? We talked a lot this hour about the Bears being legitimate, the Bears having a legit quarterback, the Bears having a legit run game. They ran it down the Eagles' throat. Not so much a legit defense at the moment. We can all agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the storyline on Monday morning in regards to the conversation that we just had?
There's 2. The headline is either the Bears prove they're ready to take the crown in the North, or the Packers prove the Bears are still legit. Second best. That's it. That's simple. It's either going to be the Packers prove the Bears are who they've always been, or it's the Bears prove there's no one in the North that can hold them back anymore. The Bears have arrived. Something along those lines.
We, over the years, have watched the NFC North and specifically other teams just bury themselves at this point in the season. The Vikings have found a way over all these years to completely bury themselves, and it's a blast. And then you sprint to their radio call and listen to Paul Allen just lose his ever-living mind.
Yeah.
One of my favorite pastimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's so great. Did you hear, I don't have it queued up, but did you hear the one of the pick 6 that he called in the Vikings-Seattle game over the weekend?
No.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, it was awful. He was so upset.
Awful in the best way.
Yeah.
The Bears do this too, though. And Charlie Barron said it when he did that hit that we played a little bit ago.
Yeah, Good Morning Football.
The Bears will always do Bears things. You want to talk about a franchise that's been hanging their hat on the past. We can only shuffle so many times, boys. It's been 40 years.
Right.
So I'm still led to believe that the Bears will somehow prove themselves that all of this up until this point was just a ruse.
And I hope you're right. But I can't go into this and say, nah, this is the same thing. The organization has made good moves. And I hate to admit that. And they've had positive play. And I can't deny that either. They're legitimate.
The 920. Are the Bears better than the Lions?
I think they're very close to the Lions. I would say they're very comparable teams.
Are the Lions legit?
Yes. There's no way that I can, a week removed from the stress and the importance we were talking about of that Packers-Lions game last week on Thanksgiving, now this week say they're not legit. Absolutely.
Would you say that the Lions-Packers Thanksgiving Day game was the closest you've seen, Josh, of the opposing team actually having a chance to beat the Packers instead of the Packers beating the Packers?
No, not really. No, I still think
Who was the other one?
I don't know
Or
that
is
I've
there
seen.
not one?
I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't. I think all season long, it's just been the Packers. It's just in this case, it was the Packers win for it. I mean, Andy Herman said it yesterday. The Packers win for it. They gambled. It paid off. They won the game. They kept it close. Packers still kept it close.
If this game is close, according to paper, the Bears will win. If the game is not close, if the Bears don't have a takeaway, they're going to get blown out by the Green Bay Packers.
Well, and that makes me nervous because the Packers have kept games close all season long.
And lost the close ones to teams that they should not have lost to. Up next, we'll ask a guy that is in the building on the regular. Our guy Matt Schneidman from The Athletic and the Tundra podcast joins us next to talk all things Packers Bears week. They're coming to Lambeau. The game is flexed. The Packers are ready. So too is Green Bay. It is a snowy season. Nothing like it, man. We're Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Schneid is next. Stay here. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
Blitz. Rogers gets out. Floats it. Cobb. Touchdown, Randall Cobb. His second of the game.
Well, that's a fun memory.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Matt Schneidman brought that up. Can't take credit for it. That's Schneid.
Who?
Schneidman. Matt Schneidman from The Athletic. Ever heard of him?
I have.
Pretty good at his job.
Yeah. He's all right.
He's joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. We're inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, and now Matt Schneidman from The Athletic and the Tundra podcast. So, Schneid, you brought this up on Twitter yesterday about the last time the Packers and Bears played a game that would have this much stake, if you will, was that game. Tell us why you believe that. Oh, I think he's muted, Josh.
Oh, it's not on our end.
Unmute thy button.
This is what happens every single Tuesday morning because we record our podcast on Monday evening, and I have my microphone setting to a different setting. Now I'm just on my laptop.
All good.
I think it's the biggest Packers-Bears game, or I should say the most at stake in a Packers-Bears game, because it's just a fact, I think. The Packers and Bears rivalry, for lack of a better term, has been completely one-sided since then. And, I mean, the Packers won that game too. I don't know the numbers beyond that. But since that day in December 2013, the Packers have won 19 of 22 games against the Bears. And under Matt LaFleur, they've won 11 of 12. And the one that the Bears won in January was when the Packers already had the number 7 seed secured. Jordan Love got hurt in that game. He hurt his elbow. Josh Jacobs got hurt / was being rested for the playoffs, and Christian Watson tore his ACL. And it still took a little bit of coaching malpractice on the Packers' part at the end of that game for the Bears to win on a game-winning field goal. So I think when you talk about from a fan perspective, I think it's good for the rivalry that both teams are this good right now. First place is on the line. There's been some head coach banter back and forth, whether serious or not, during the offseason. And this is the most juice there's been around a Packers-Bears matchup since probably the 2018 opener after Khalil Mack was traded, but most at stake certainly in probably 12 years.
Matt, do you think the Bears are legitimate?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can't discredit 9-3. I think legitimate is probably different from are they Super Bowl contenders? I don't know about that yet.
Agreed.
But I think they're a legitimate playoff contender and should be taken seriously. Absolutely. That run game, the offensive line is no joke, and they lead the league in takeaways by 4. They have 26 takeaways. That's really, really good. There are some flaws of their team that could get exposed, but you can say that for every team. You can poke holes in pretty much every team in the NFL right now, even the Patriots and the Broncos, who have the 2 best records in the league. So I don't think this is going to be who's a pretender type game on Sunday at Lambeau Field. I think it's just going to give one of these teams a real significant leg up in this NFC playoff race and the NFC North playoff race.
Outside of the Packers-Lions on Thursday, it kind of feels like if the game is close, the Packers either tie or lose. And if the game doesn't feel necessarily close, the Packers kind of edge that one out. Yet on the Bears side, if they get takeaways and they're in a game, late in the game, they seem to be able to win that game. If they don't get takeaways, they get absolutely curb stomped. What part of the Bears team do you think that the Packers team can easily expose so that it turns into one of those blowout situations?
Well, look, it's going to be strength on strength when you're talking about the Packers offense versus the Bears defense. And I kind of like the Packers offense in that scenario because the Bears defense ranks 25th in scoring defense, 25th in points allowed per game. But like I said, they lead the league in takeaways. Jordan Love's been one of the best in the NFL at taking care of the ball this year. He's only thrown 3 interceptions. And if you look at the top 10 quarterbacks, and I think, Jordan Love's tied for 7th in touchdown passes. But there are a bunch of guys who are tied for 7th with 19 touchdown passes. So let's say top 10 and ties in touchdown passes. Jordan Love has the second fewest interceptions. I think Jalen Hurts has only thrown 2. Jordan Love's thrown 3 interceptions to 19 touchdowns. So this notion, and I know Orlovsky's touched on it a bunch this year, but this notion that Jordan Love's this reckless thrower of the football, I don't think is accurate. I think it takes skill to not throw interceptions and still have that accuracy on high risk throws and still take those chances. And it's something Jordan Love has not perfected, but become really good at after some interception issues early on in his first 2 seasons starting. So I think if Jordan Love can take care of the ball, and I think he can, then I think the Packers automatically have a leg up because this Bears defense really lives off takeaways. And if they don't get them, then it's going to be hard for them to win this game.
Matt, the Bears offense and running game has been very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers defense with Micah Parsons has been very, very good. Although I feel like that narrative changed a lot after the Thanksgiving game when Wyatt went down and we found out he was out for the year. How does that impact this game against the Bears? And what do you think is the game plan for the Packers to try to make up the best they can as, Micah Parsons said, an irreplaceable player?
Yeah, and if you remember after the Cowboys game, when the Cowboys did whatever they wanted on offense from late in the second quarter on through overtime, Micah Parsons was asked after the game what changed. And he said Devontae Wyatt got hurt. So Devontae Wyatt's a huge piece. He may not be this household name around the NFL. He's the Packers' best interior defensive lineman. He's a really, really important piece to this defense. And on that play, he got injured. It was him collapsing the pocket enough to, make an opening for Micah Parsons to come in and sack Jared Goff for the 2.5 time. It's going to be all hands on deck. It's going to be Parsons rushing from the inside to generate that interior rush. It's going to be Warren Brinson, Nazir Stackhouse taking on bigger roles than they ever have as rookies. It's going to be Carl Brooks if he can get back from injury. Colby Wooden continuing to play well. Lucas Van Ness, I don't know if he'll be back. He's still dealing with the foot injury. It'll be him maybe rushing from the inside. It's a big loss. It's like, I wouldn't say it's the same caliber of loss as Tucker Kraft, because I think the Packers have more pieces in place to compensate for a Devontae Wyatt loss, but it's not far behind that. That's how big of a loss this is. I don't think this should be swept under the rug, but it's going to be massive, especially because the Bears are so good on the ground. They ranked 2nd in the league in rushing yards per game with like over 152. They ran it all over the Eagles, and that was with the Eagles having Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. So Packers without Devontae Wyatt, it's going to be tough to stop the run. And they haven't really been good at stopping the run in the past month and a half anyway.
Matt Schneidman from The Athletic and the Tundra podcast joining us on Inside Wisconsin Sports. So you mentioned that the game has juice. Is there any juice in this whole Matt LaFleur, Ben Johnson thing, or is it just typical fodder between the Packers and the Bears?
It's probably more, I wouldn't even say it's between the Packers and the Bears. It's just an intriguing, fun storyline. Do I think that there's actual disdain between the coaches? No. But Ben Johnson in late January at his introductory press conference goes up there and says, I watched it back last night, so I'm paraphrasing the longer quote. It's basically, I wanted to stay in this division. This is the best division in football. I have a lot of respect for the players and coaches in this league. Kevin O'Connell and Dan Campbell are up for Coach of the Year, and I've really enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. And so LaFleur, his public response to that was at the annual league meeting in April when he said, yeah, I saw it. I don't go way back with Ben. So if someone sees that and says, oh, it's just a friendly barb, they go way back or they've coached together, they're not. They're not friends. They don't go way back. They never coached together. So it was kind of maybe caught Matt LaFleur off guard, but he did say that he's not going to lose sleep over it. He knows Ben's just trying to, curry favor to his new fans. But then, when LaFleur's on McAfee before the second day of the draft in Green Bay, he says he's talking about the strength of the NFC North, and he says, The Bears did some good things this offseason with who they got, and they got a good coach, as he said himself, in Ben Johnson. So LaFleur kind of returned a shot. I asked LaFleur about it yesterday, since I have a story coming out tomorrow morning about just what's at stake here and kind of the juice behind the matchup. And he said he's not really going to think about it this week, and he doesn't care about it. But I would not put it past Matt LaFleur, if the Packers win on Sunday, to walk to the podium and say, well, I guess Ben's not beaten me twice this year. LaFleur is very calculated and politically correct in what he says at a podium, especially leading up to games. I think that kind of petty would be warranted if they get a win of the magnitude that Sunday's win would be.
Matt, we saw and heard from Matt LaFleur after the game on Thanksgiving how he said, you can't, if you're going to win here, you have to be aggressive. We had to come in. We had to be that aggressive team. They were. It panned out. It worked. But that was different than the Matt LaFleur that we'd seen a lot of the season. Do you think that was, he kind of tied that into going into Ford Field and playing against the Lions on Thanksgiving? Do you think that is going to be a kind of a new mindset that we're going to see more of from Matt? Or is this kind of back to what we've seen, really a coin flip on the play calling, the coaching style, and what comes out of the game from Matt LaFleur?
It's a cop-out answer, but I think it's the accurate one. I think it just depends on the opponent. We saw him against the Vikings go super conservative and run the ball a lot and milk the clock and rely on the defense to win the game. But that's because you could. That's because of how bad the Vikings are on offense. Against the Lions, you got to maybe steal a possession here or there. You got to be aggressive, not necessarily to make a statement against Dan Campbell, who has kind of revolutionized how we think about going forward on fourth down. Although I think the Packers did make a statement in doing so, but I don't think that was the reason behind their strategy. It's just to go into an environment like that against a team who's going to try and steal possessions against you, against a team that was moving the ball pretty much at will against your defense in the latter stages of that game. You had to kind of use that strategy. And also, it's not like, LaFleur going for it on the first 2 fourth downs was crazy. One was a 4th and 3 from the 22, and the other was a 4th and 1 from the 2. The first one, maybe you could, argue that one, that they should have taken the field goal, but they were up 3, and you're going up against a really good offense in an away environment. So I don't think it was necessarily like, okay, this is a, mark in the season where we're going to change our strategy on offense. I just think it was that day, considering the opponent, the location, and maybe there was a little bit of this is kind of the style we need to play with to make a statement. Although I still don't think it was much of that. That's what called for that approach. Now, if the game is a shootout on Sunday at Lambeau Field and the Packers have a 4th and 3 from the 24-yard line with 3 minutes left, maybe they go for it because they don't want to give the Bears a chance to get the ball back. I mean, it's all situational, I think. It's easy to look at it and say, oh, Matt LaFleur is going to keep on being aggressive. This is going to be his identity. But the real answer is I think it's more game dependent.
A big one against the Bears. Then we go to Denver and then back against the Bears before we make our final appearance at home against the Ravens, then at Minnesota to close out the season. Have the Packers shown you the things that we as fans needed to see, especially in that game against the Lions, that would lead us to believe this is going to be a very celebratory final 5 games of the season? Or are we still in this mode of, we don't know which team is going to show up?
Yeah, I still think this is a very week-to-week league, and I don't want to say we don't know which team is going to show up, but the narrative around the Packers could be completely different after the next 2 weeks than it is right now. For example, after the Eagles game, it was they're 5-3-1 at this point. They might be a good team. They might not even be a playoff team. They're certainly not a Super Bowl contender. Now, a couple games later, it's okay. They just beat the Giants, sure, but then they handled the Vikings, went into Ford Field and beat the Lions. They look more like a Super Bowl contender. But if they lose to the Bears and Broncos or split, it's going to be, okay, they're a good team, not a great one. They'll probably make the playoffs. I mean, possibly. It's possible that narrative comes back out. But if they beat these two teams, it's okay, they're going to win the Super Bowl. So that's the beauty of what we do and reacting and covering this stuff each week, especially with a team of this relevance, is that the reactions are all over the spectrum every week, which means there's a lot of interest in the team we cover, which is all we can ask for as people in the media.
Matt, I feel like there's two competing butting heads kind of identities this week, and Trevor kind of alluded to it, but the Packers they play to their opponent. They keep it closer than they should at times. It seemed to be that way against the Lions as well on Thanksgiving, against a Bears team that it seems like when the games are kept close, they seem to win those games. And so these two butting head identities, if you had to put a prediction out there, and this is leading into Matt Schneidman score prediction, but how do you see kind of those constant identities throughout the season? Who wins that battle between keeping it close, playing to your competition, but winning, and keeping it close and winning those games that are close?
Yeah, I mean, to kind of illustrate what you're saying, the Bears obviously 9-3, they have a point differential of +6 only. And the Packers at 8-3-1 have a point differential of +68. The Lions at 7-5 have a point differential of +76. So the math isn't quite mathing on all that stuff. Like you said, the Bears are winning these close games. Now, the Vikings last year, for example, won a bunch of close games and won 14 games in the regular season, then lost in the first round of the playoffs. So does water find its level at the most important time of the year? Who knows? There is something to be said, and it's a good thing that you're winning close games as opposed to losing them. But I think this is a close game. The Packers win. I think this is a game that's close in the fourth quarter, and we see that closer Micah Parsons come out again. I went on the Tundra yesterday where I make my first score prediction of the week. I went 30-27 Packers in overtime, so I'm going to stick with that.
Oh my God. I'm
adding overtime.
7 headaches or heart attacks if this game goes to overtime.
Monday's gonna hurt. If they win in overtime, I will be hungover Monday morning. For the first time ever on this show.
Please. I mean, I'll be happy with the win, but Lord help us if that's an overtime win.
One last one before we let you ride, Schneid. The attention that Ben Johnson got for taking off his shirt, I thought was interesting. And apparently it was warranted because it made all of Chicago get free hot dogs from a local restaurant that said, if you take your shirt off, we'll give out free hot dogs. If Matt LaFleur was to take his shirt off in the Packers locker room and it cued free food, much like the George Webb burgers for the Brewers, you're here in Green Bay. What free food do you want if Matt LaFleur takes off his shirt?
Well, I'm not asking for Matt LaFleur to take off his shirt.
Neither am I.
I want that to be crystal clear. But hypothetically, if that were to happen, I would probably just say cheese curds. I love cheese curds, especially from, I don't know what the sponsors of this show are, but I love Culver's cheese curds.
Yeah, Culver's cheese curds are great. Yeah.
I love Culver's cheese curds.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Matt Schneidman from The Athletic and the Tundra. New episode of the podcast comes out today. You can listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts.
Thanks, Matt.
Anything pressing in today's pod?
No, I wouldn't say so. Yeah, that's probably not a great advertisement for our
Hell of a
show.
lead.
But
Perfect.
Solid Packers talk. Solid 45 minutes of Packers talk from a journalist and the guy who threw the key block in the last Packers-Bears game that mattered this much.
Yeah, it's Packers-Bears week. You can't miss this episode. Plain and simple. There, I'll help you out.
Full circle on the old block as well. It's great. All right, Schneid, don't be a stranger. We'll see you soon.
Thanks guys.
Matt.
The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. That's the question. I want to know your answer when we come back. If LaFleur was said to, if you take your shirt off in the locker room in celebration, it cues this free Wisconsin food. Schneidman says cheese curds. What say you? The Nicolay Law fan talking text line. I've got one. I'm positive Josh has one.
What's that?
414-677-1250.
What do you think? What do you think? I just a bigger guy just got to automatically know food.
Why do you keep fat shaming yourself?
No, fat. No, I'm saying that off of what you say. Yeah, Jason the 920 said, you got to be careful about this Trevor guy. Oh, okay, all right.
Literally just gonna say chili.
If you're not
hey,
watching us on YouTube or X right now, you should have seen this man's face.
What the hell is wrong with you? Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor and Josh, the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studio is powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm hungry. Is that wrong? No. Weird Al Yankovic.
You a Weird Al guy?
I think he's coming to the Resch Center if he hasn't already. No, it's next year.
Yeah, he has a tour coming out. Yep.
Yeah, October 16th, 2026. Weird Al will be here in Green Bay.
Yep.
Am I a Weird Al guy? No. However, I love this song for a few different reasons. One, it's perfect as we come back on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. We're talking about Ben Johnson taking his shirt off. Head coach of the Bears. It was completely lost on me. I thought he was just losing his mind and getting his guys fired up. Nope. It actually queued free hot dogs for the city of Chicago from a spot called the Wiener Circle. They're going to give out
Wiener
free
Circle,
hot
yeah.
dogs. The Wiener Circle. You been there?
No, but it's like the play on the Winner Circle. The Wiener Circle.
The Wiener Circle. Free hot dogs for Chicago because Ben Johnson took his shirt off. So it got me thinking, if I'm not asking him to, I want to make sure we're all on the same page here. I'm not asking Matt LaFleur to take his shirt off, although, boy, would that be a hell of a thing to do in the locker room after whooping the Bears. I think that'd be great.
Yeah. I
But
agree.
if he was to take his shirt off in celebratory fashion and the Packers had something in place here in the community that queued free food because Matt LaFleur took his shirt off, what free food do you want? If that's going to queue free food, what's it going to be? Matt Schneidman, who joined us last segment from the Athletic and the Tundra podcast, said cheese curds from Culver's. I think that's a very valid and appropriate answer. Josh?
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking, if you were going to be hungry and want free food, what would it be?
So I'm trying to think about this from a statewide perspective, right? Like that's the thing that happened with Ben Johnson in Chicago. I'm not familiar with Wiener Circle enough to know if this goes beyond the Chicago area. You know, how much in Illinois do they have locations? So that's why I really loved Matt's cheese curd answer. And my original thought was some brats. You know, brats is something that goes, all over the state. You get
brats.
Oh, I know. And this is
tough.
I know. I'm a Johnsonville guy, but I know. Clements, how can you people fight
Are you
you?
a parboil Johnsonville guy? Do you parboil them and then put them on the grill?
I usually don't, but when other people do, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, okay.
It's more work. I'm lazy. I don't care.
There's a lot of people chiming in about what free food they want. And again, we say this isn't something we're encouraging. We don't want Matt LaFleur to do it. Somebody that just texted in and said, that would be terrible. The other coach already did it. Yep, that's what we're talking about. It's going to be okay. First things first. I love this. This says here, if Matt LaFleur, this is from the 920, if Matt LaFleur takes his shirt off, the ladies in the state are going to go crazy, and he needs to buy all the men Miller Lite.
Yeah. Now, see, that's a great point. You said food, but if it's like if it was everyone gets a 6-pack, it's over. Game over.
I don't think that. Good luck getting that past the law.
Well, I'm just saying, though, that would be great.
I love this. Who cares if coach takes their shirt off? I know. That's not the conversation. What free food do you want?
I'm also curious how the Wiener Circle is doing this because obviously the Webb's Burgers, George Webb's Burgers, huge thing that the Brewers have done. They win 12 in a row. They did it this last season. They almost did it twice, but they did it this last season. And, even after the game, the players were like, hey, man, we like free food. This was huge. We wanted to give these fans burgers. And I love that. However, I was way more happy to get the coupon, right? I didn't get a free burger. I just wanted to have the coupon as proof. Hey, I was there when the Brewers did it. So I wonder if the Wiener Circle are going to do the same thing.
Do you have the coupon?
Oh, absolutely.
Did you get one?
Yeah.
You gonna frame it?
Yeah. I'm going to get it laminated. Laminate it. Got to get it laminated. But I'm wondering if they're going to do the same thing or if they're just going to do a day where everyone gets hot dogs. Because that makes a big difference, too.
Should we call them?
Call the Wiener Circle?
Yeah. Look up their phone number.
Okay.
Let's call them live on the radio. What could go wrong?
Oh, a lot of things. You think they're open at 8:30 in the morning?
I don't know, but it's worth a shot.
Okay.
If anyone says anything else besides a big old bowl of chili at Natty Oaks for LaFleur taking his shirt off, you don't like Josh.
Yeah. Listen, Natty Oaks chili is the answer. I just feel bad for you that got to drive down to get it.
Cheese curds from the bar are awesome as well, says the 920. But if the shirt comes off, I want Dave's hot chicken. Never had it.
So they open at 11, but I'm going to try to do some research here quick to see.
That's fine. We could at least chime in. Maybe we'll reach out to him and talk about it. Hey, thanks for copying the George Webb's idea. Really cool. Awesome. Shocker that it had nothing to do with a Bears win streak, but I digress. Free Speed Queen ribs for a shirt free Matt LaFleur from Scotty Tiffany. 262. Tell you this, the girls won't be looking at his eyebrows.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about. Legend Larry's Wings, Drift In Chili. Brian and DePere couldn't agree more. Yeah, I see your Natty Oaks chili, and I very much appreciate it and respect it. And if not tied for first, a close second is Drift In up here in Green Bay.
Yeah, I've had Drift In. It's a very good chili. I will tell you, I prefer Natty Oaks because Drift In, I get looks when they say, do you want noodles in it? And I go, no. And then I got to look like, you sure? And I was like, oh, do I need that? I don't want it. So it was good chili, though.
The 414, Trevor, it's a no-brainer. It's butter burgers from Kroll's. Have you had those?
Yeah, of course.
Just make one. You say that. Which Kroll's?
West.
Meaning the one by the stadium?
Yeah.
Have you been to Kroll's East?
No.
Very fascinating.
Oh.
Kroll's is so good.
Is it different? Is it very different?
Well, it's just, we were talking off air about all things throwback.
Yeah.
That's Kroll's.
Got
it's amazing. There's a button in the booth that you hit when you want the waitress or waiter to come over.
Oh, that's awesome.
Buddy in GA, pizza from Marty's Pizza in Delafield. Never had that.
Marty's got some good
but
pizza.
You have my interest. I'll be at this game from the 715. I'm down for some free beer. Andy in Brookfield says, give me a free big old bowl of chili from Natty Oaks. A big old bowl of chili from Natty Oaks. Bob in Minneapolis. Steve in G-Town. Look at all these. Ryan and Lannon. A tall boy from Quick Trip.
I feel like now
Ryan,
it's breaking the talking text line.
The Wieners Circle is near Lincoln Park. Noted. And it's a single location, Ryan says. If you want a good laugh, look up what it means to order a chocolate shake there. What I would want is free Cops frozen custard. Now that I said that, I think Hugh Jackman is actually serving.
He is.
There today.
Yeah, I saw a report of that. Apparently, Hugh Jackman has some performance or something coming up. He's in Milwaukee, and so, or something of the sort. And so to promote it, he's going to be serving some type of blueberry ice cream at Cops.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Jacob in a van says, don't call the Wiener Circle. They will curse you out. Well, that, Jacob, is what could go wrong. But, what could go right?
Yeah, on the radio, you are 100% right. That is a bad idea.
Yeah, we'll hit the dump button. B. Hintage in West Allis. A shirtless LaFleur. Everyone gets free drink umbrellas. That's awesome. Oh, my gosh. Look at this. A bowl of chili and a burger from Drift In. Bricky from Wrightstown. They are apparently at the Wiener Circle notorious for swearing and roasting customers. That was close.
Yeah.
That was
you can
close.
tell. You can tell how we have not been there. You and I have not partaken.
Yeah, Kroll's East is the original and the best, says the 414. 262, Supper Club Prime Rib. Preferably Pine Tree or Black Otter, but all should participate. Have all Wisconsin plumbers on call that next week. Boy, you imagine if something happened with the Packers and we all got free prime rib. Good Lord. We'd instantly put every supper club in this state out of business. That would be really bad for our career.
I can't believe that. I had no idea that the Wiener Circle was only one location. That's even more crazy. They are screwed. What are they going to do?
They're apparently very sassy.
I'm just saying they're going to have a lot of people.
The 262 says, you guys don't have enough dump button time for a live call with the Wiener Circle. They're known for their profanity.
Learning that.
Buddy, that was close. We almost called them live on the air.
Before we saw the text.
Yeah.
I had the number pulled up and everything.
Oh, God. Good run, Trevor and Josh.
Yeah.
What happened? We called the Wiener Circle. What happened?
Well, I dumped, but then I couldn't dump again.
We don't know. We were escorted out of the building. Andy in Brookfield. On another note, I went to Natty Oaks for brunch on Sunday, ordered an omelet and a chili, made myself a big old bowl of chili cheese omelet.
Whoa.
You have my attention.
Mind blown.
Wiener Circle pro tip from the 414. Tip them $20 and ask for the chocolate shake.
Gosh, I love how many people are bringing this up and not telling us what
Yeah.
the inside joke is, as if like the Wiener Circle is going to hunt you down and hurt your family if they do.
Nobody said pizza, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
That's what I'm saying.
You would have gone pizza?
Yeah, Max Pizza. I've talked about this on this program before. Max Pub in De Pere has some of the greatest pizza I've ever got my hands on. And Josh, I have eaten some pizza in my day. I love legit pizza.
Yeah.
Love legit pizza. But if I was to say a restaurant was going to give free pizza, it'd have to be Max.
Tell me about this pizza. What is it thin? Is it thick? What is the details?
Well, it's thin, and that is my jam.
Yeah. Same.
I order it. This is how I order my pizza. I'm not even kidding. I say, hey, I would like a 12-inch pepperoni and mushroom pizza. Burn it.
Ooh, I
literally say burn it.
So do you like the cracker thin crust, or do you just like thin crust?
Well, I like thin crust. Let's talk in generalities. Thick crust, thin crust.
Yeah, thin crust.
I'm a thin crust guy.
Same.
Right? Now, you take me back to my adolescence and give me one of those free Pizza Hut coupons for the personal pan pizza for doing the reading program. You don't know about this?
Of course I do. But for the people that are listening and not watching, why did you say reading program in quotes?
I didn't read a thing.
Yeah, clearly.
That's the reading.
Reading program.
Right.
I read the book.
I did not, but boy, did I love the pizza.
Oh, come on, man.
I didn't read a thing. And I got that damn pizza coupon every single time.
Man, yeah.
Boys got to eat.
You didn't have any of the associated guilt. No way.
Oz and Wausau with a mic drop to end the segment. Get real, guys. LaFleur will never take his shirt off. It would mess up his hair.
Can we just stop for a second to acknowledge if the Packers beat the Bears on Sunday, and there's a clip after the game of Matt LaFleur celebrating with his team without his shirt on to mock Ben Johnson doing it the week before, how epic that would be. Would that not be the best? Oh my gosh, that would be so next level trolling. That would light this rivalry on just the entire thing in flames.
Dare I say the Packers fans could use something like that.
I agree because I think regardless of the free hot dogs, I think that did something for the Bears fans.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I was anti-it, because I was like, oh, good. They're fired up. Great. What are we? Angry most of the time. That's what we are.
Yep.
But then I learned that it cued free hot dogs, and Jacob in a van shared with us on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line, 414-677-1250. We can't read that on the air, but apparently if you order a shake, things get real interesting real fast.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. What's up, Wisconsin? We'll do that next. God, I want it to happen. Now I literally want the Packers.
Me too.
Not that I didn't want before, but I want the Packers to so blow out the Bears that the coaches are taking their shirts off. I'm not asking. You hear what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
That would be the most epic troll thing ever.
Sure would.
And it would so be appropriate.
Yeah, I'd love it.
Real quick, the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest is happening all week this week here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, and we would love your participation. Across the state of Wisconsin, whether it's Green Bay and the Fox Valley, Wausau, Duluth Superior, or in Milwaukee, you can donate online at wisportsradio.com. You can text TOYS to 34984, or in the Milwaukee area, head to Blaine's Farm and Fleet on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. They're collecting cash and toys this entire week from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. all the way through Friday. And if you can't make it to Oak Creek, stop by Natty Oaks in West Allis, drop off your toys there. They'll shuttle them over, and if you don't get a bowl of chili, shame on you.
Yeah. I mean, you can get wings or a smash can burger. They got other food. Either way, go there. They'll take care of you if you can't get out to Oak Creek.
I had no idea they had other food. I've never seen you with anything else other than a big old bowl of chili.
Big fan.
The 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steel Wind Industries, by the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. What's Up, Wisconsin is next. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line 414-677-1250. What's up, Wisconsin? What are you guys up to today?
What's up?
This afternoon, tonight. I know what we're up to here at the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Jumping on with us again, our guy Sparky. Wisconsin Sports Daily, but this week, you might as well be dressed up as Santa Claus. It's the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. Sparky, how did day one go out at Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek and also online at wisportsradio.com?
That went all right. We filled up 2 boxes, so that's a start to fill up the semi truck that's out here, Blaine's Farm and Fleet on Rawson and Oak Creek. So we're going in the right direction. It was pretty good day one, and then obviously the other part of it is the financial donations as well. Talk and text line and then donations online. I think we did like $160. We got to do better than that, folks. I mean, that's for a whole day. We got to do better than $160. So we got to try and challenge people a little bit, I think, during the course of the week to get some donations from around the state, people that can't make it out here to the toy drive in Oak Creek to donate online. I think that would be good. I think, I'd like to see it get to around 5,000 or so at least by the end of the week. We can get to that point. I know in years past we've been able to do that. So hopefully we can get to that point out here all day again, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Last night, a huge hit was the King's Catering food truck that was out here from 4 until 6 p.m. with pulled pork and brisket sandwiches and pasta salad and all kinds of different stuff on their Food Responders food truck. They'll be out here again today from 4 to 6 too. And, of course, we're out here all day from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Some wind, a little snow blowing that's going around out here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet right now. But we'd love to see you out here. I'll be broadcasting out here this afternoon from 2 to 5 with the Wisconsin Sports Daily. John Greenberg, president of the Milwaukee Admirals, will join me at 4:20 this afternoon out here at the Toy Drive. Tomorrow, Matt Arnold, GM and president of the Milwaukee Brewers, will be out here at 3:30.
Sparky, we've been talking about, and not necessarily, because we want to, but because it's in the news, about Ben Johnson taking his shirt off to earn some hot dogs for Chicago natives. And we asked what you would expect or what you would want Matt LaFleur to do to earn free food. I want to know, what's the number got to hit for the toy drive for Sparky to celebrate without a shirt on?
No, I'm not doing that. Good try. You're not getting me on that one, buddy. Nope, not happening. I'm not you, Josh Albrecht. I ain't pulling that off. No, sir. No, sir.
That's not the answer I was looking for, Sparky.
Okay, $200,000.
There you go. There's a number. We have a number. It's set. It's a
and
high
we've
number.
done that before. We have hit that number before. So that's not something we've never done. I think our highest ever is 220,000 in toys and cash. But that was pre-COVID, obviously. So, yeah, sure. Yeah. $200,000. Yeah, I'll do it. You betcha.
Challenge accepted.
There we go.
Challenge accepted.
Sure. But in order to get that, I'm telling you right now, the online stuff is going to have to pop in order to get to that number. So, I hope everybody can help out for Children's Wisconsin. Now, hearing stories yesterday from different people that are out here, it's just amazing, man. All the different stories. Talked to one lady. I talked about it in there yesterday. 14-year-old son had 34 surgeries already at Children's Wisconsin. Talked to another family whose son has multiple tumors on his brain and is playing sports and doing all of that, and the tumors aren't growing. But it was a really scary incident where they had fluid on the brain. They had a drain and all of this at 8 years old. And now he's 9 and doing his thing like everybody else. So it's incredible. And not only the doctors being, the best in the country, but the nurses and how great they are with the kids and the social workers that are on site there, Children's for the families and the kids too. And it's just an awesome deal. And that's why this week is so important, because it's, that one toy can put a smile on a kid's face when they're having a crappy day and they're dealing with a lot of pain or whatever the case may be. And when that kid smiles, those parents smile, because those parents aren't smiling either while the kid's in pain, I promise you. So that can bring a little relief to everybody in the room by just, a nurse bringing a toy in that you get from the toy drive.
I heard on your show yesterday, Sparky, that often this has little to do with financials, meaning it's not that families don't have the means to go and get toys. It's that their children are being taken care of by Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, and it's just a timing thing. What people don't understand is when you have a child at Children's Wisconsin, that is your life. They're not there because they're going to get out in a day or two. This is something that really affects children and families forever. And if we can make their life just a little bit better this time of year, especially, with the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, well, then that's the goal. To Sparky's point, let's put a smile on their face. You're out there the rest of the week, right, Spark?
Yep, out here every day doing my show out here 2 to 5 every day, Wisconsin Sports Daily. Again, John Greenberg of the Admirals today, Matt Arnold of the Brewers tomorrow, trying to work on some other guests as well throughout the course of the week. And then on Friday, 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Remy Makloff will be out here. The Mason Crosby show will be back out here with Mitch Thundernellis broadcasting. And then I'll be out here 2 to 5 to wrap it up. So, again, don't be a procrastinator. I know most of us guys are procrastinators, but the sooner you can get the toys dropped off, the better. And I always encourage people that I've seen families do over the years. It's a cool tradition to start. We're not going anywhere. Obviously, this is year 19, where you bring your kids here to Blaine Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek on Rawson Avenue and let them pick out a toy, something that they would like, and to donate for somebody less fortunate than them that's going through a tough time in the hospital. And then you just make it a yearly holiday tradition. You come back every year and you do it every year, and you'd be amazed, especially the smaller kids, how cool that is. And it really gives them perspective on how fortunate they really are to be healthy and so forth at this time of the year.
All right, Spark, we got to run, man. We'll talk to you soon and probably again tomorrow morning.
Sounds good. Take care, guys.
The 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. Here again is how you can participate this week across the state of Wisconsin. First things first, you can text TOYS to 34984. You can donate online at wisportsradio.com. Sparky talked about it. If you're down in the Milwaukee area, Blaine's Farm and Fleet on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. I've been there. They're collecting cash and toys this week from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. all the way through Friday. And again, stop by Natty Oaks in West Dallas. You can drop off toys and cash there as well. The 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin, brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steel Wind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. Our thanks to Matt Schneidman for jumping on with us today. Keep those donations coming, Wisconsin. We'll be back here again tomorrow morning inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Because we're not done yet.